do the same thing whatever we have done in yesterday's session. Okay, unfortunately we are unable to connect to the nodes from the Ansible, even though we have followed all the steps, right? So to be frank, I did not find the issue what went wrong, but after that I have cleared everything. Again, I launched the two new instances and I tried and it went well. So sometimes we have to be very cautious while updating the files. Even if we add any extra spaces or any extra lines or any, if the file gets corrupted, then the settings will not be reflected in the system. So that might be the issue. Okay, so let me repeat the same thing again in front of you so that you will understand what we have done in the sequence of orders. Okay, so first we launch three instances with Amazon Linux to AMI. Okay, select this. Is anyone tried? Shiva, Amulya, have you guys tried?
No,
No?
sir.
Okay, okay. Yeah. So I am launching three devices, I mean three machines. This is S1, means server one. So this is node one, let's say. This is node two. Okay. Server. Okay. So we are just trying to recreate the same scenario what we have done yesterday. Yesterday it did not go through it. So we'll try it again. So we'll see what kind of errors we may see today. Okay, we launched three machines, out of which one is the server and the remaining two are the nodes. Okay, now let me connect to the server. Connect. Yeah. So what is the first command? We have to get the root user access. Sudo su hyphen. So this gives root user access. After that, what we have to do, if at all there are any Linux updates are available, we have to install those updates in our machine. For that, update hyphen y. Okay, done. We are done with our system updates. Okay, now the system is up to date. Now what is the first step? We have to install the epl repository. Already we are a sudo user, so no need to add sudo again. Okay, you can download and install, or else you can directly install also. Okay, both are same. Both will work when you have the internet connectivity. Both will work. Wget Yes. Now yum install. Okay, then what is the next step? Come on, what is the next step, guys? We have to update our system to reflect these installations, right? So yum update -y. Yeah. Now we have to install the required softwares. Yum install Python, Python pip, Python developer, OpenSSL, Ansible, and also Git. Yeah. So now we are good with installation part of Ansible. Up to this clear, right?
Yes,
Please
sir.
respond, guys. Up to this clear or any doubts?
Yes, sir.
So now we have to make changes in two files. One is the host file and second one is the Ansible configuration file. Host file is also called as inventory file. In the host file, we have to add the nodes details. Okay, where this file is located, va/etc/ansible host. This is the location. So here we need to add the list of web servers here. Or what any servers, web servers, database servers, application servers, could be anything. Okay. Web servers. What are the list instances? This is the node one. This is the IP address. I just copied the IP address. I pasted here. What is the other node? Node 2. Private IP address. Copy. Yes. Okay. We are done with changes to. Okay. What is the next step? We have to make the changes in the Ansible configuration file to reflect this inventory file details. Okay. So the file is va space /etc/ansible/ansible configuration. Okay. Yeah. We have to uncomment this, and also we have to make available user as root. Okay, these are the only two changes. In the host file, one change. What is the change? We have to a list of nodes details over there. In the second change, in the Ansible configuration file, there we have to uncomment these two lines. Now let me save this.
Sir, how can we highlight those two, sir?
Sorry, how can we?
Those two got highlighted, no, sir. How can we highlight those two?
No. It will get highlighted by default. We haven't done anything. So before that, if any hash is there, that means that is a comment. So all the comments are highlighted in this color only. So after that, based on some keywords and some words, it will get highlighted. But for that, we no need to do anything.
Okay, sir. Removal of that hash only, no?
We just need to remove the hash. If we add hash before any line, that becomes comment. Comment means that will not have any value. You can add n number of comments in the file. Because of that, your system changes will not be reflected. Comments will not be part of the actual work, right? Comments
Yes,
are
sir.
just to give some additional information. If we want something that needs to be make it dummy, then we have to comment it. If we want that to be reflected in the system, then we have to make it uncomment. So now I just uncommented it. If I comment it, So it will not consider that host file as inventory file. Inventory is the word. So whatever the path is given here, that will be taken as inventory file. Here, instead of /etc/ansible host, if we give some other file name, that will be taken as the inventory file. Okay, so here inventory is the keyword that will be understandable by the system, operating system, that will have some predefined meaning. That is the reason we have to uncomment it. Okay. Yeah. What is the next step, guys?
Sir,
Yeah.
yesterday you have taken web server for node 1 and database server for
Yeah.
host 2.
Here, what you have to do is you can take any number of servers. Okay. So this is nothing but for your understanding. Here, these two are the web servers. If you want any more extra servers or extra nodes for some other activity, you can give one name.
Okay.
Okay. So it's a just like you are grouping some nodes to one name. Okay. Let's say stationery, we'll call it as stationery. In the stationery, what items will come? Book, pen, eraser, all these things will come under stationery when you consider student point of view. Okay, so he will consider all those items as stationery items only. Okay, here web servers means these are the two machines and the machine's IP address is this. Okay, again something happened. Yeah, now yeah. You can give a name to group of nodes. Okay, these machines are gaming machines, these machines are work machines, these machines are music machines. Like that, to a group of machine, you can specify a tag. Here, for these two machines, I am giving a tab called web servers. Or else, you can give like this also. Okay, the first one is the web server, and I want to make the second one as web server or application server. Like that also you can give. Okay, like this also you can give. So if you say database server, what is the node? This is the node. If you say web server, what is the node? This is the node. Like that, you can mention the list of nodes and you can give a name to it. Okay, there is no restriction what could be considered as web server. How many number of nodes could be considered as web server? There is no restriction for that. Okay, here we are just letting our server know that, hey server, so these are the IP addresses of web servers and these are the IP address of database servers. That information we are giving to the server. Is this clear, Amulya, now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, now what changes we done? We install Ansible, that is the first step. We made changes to the host file and we made changes to the configuration file. So these are completed. What is the next step? Come on, what is the next step? We have to create the user in all the machines, including server and the nodes. Okay. Yeah. How to create a
And
user?
user.
Add
So,
user. Username is ANS1, Ansible1 or Ansible server1. And we have to set the password ANS1. Okay, done. We are done with setting the user and the password. The same user needs to be created in the nodes as well. Okay. Let me open the nodes and create the same user. Okay. Sudo su Yep. So here updates are done. Now we have to create the user. Add user ANS1. Password ANS1. Yes. We are done with creating the user in Node 2 and do the same operation in Node 1 as well. Sorry. Okay, done. We are done with creating the user in all the machines, server and the nodes. What is the next step? Now this setup is over. So we are done with creating the server and installed with Ansible, and here configuration file and the host file are updated and nodes are available. Now we have to connect the server with the node 1. So for that, what we have to do? We have to switch to user su hyphen. What is that? Username ANS1. Now we are, earlier we were root user. Now we are ANS1 user. Now let me connect to this machine SSH hyphen, sorry, SSH and the IP address of this node 2 or node 1. Okay, copy this. Are you sure you want to continue? Yes. Permission they need. The same error we are getting. So yesterday we did some more operations, but we haven't done it yet. Okay, we have to do one more step here. What is that step? We have to create the SSH connection between our server and the node. How can we do it? SSH connectivity. Va sudo. We have to open this file. Okay, and we have to change here. Here we have to add the user details ANS1. Same thing needs to be done in all the files. In server also we done. Okay, done. So we are done with This one, username also added in all the nodes. Okay. And here and everywhere we have added the details. What is the next step? We have to create the SSH connection between server and the node. For that, we have to make updates to SSH configuration file. Yes or no? Where this file resides? va space /etc sshd config. Yeah. So here we need to make the changes. What are the changes? See, we have to use permit root login. Yes, this has to be uncommented. And after that, there is one more change. Here we have to make it yes. Password authentication should be yes. Okay. Now we are done with the changes. Okay. And same changes needs to be done in all the machines. /etc/SSH. Once the user is created, in order to establish the connection between server and the nodes, we have to make changes in the SSHD configuration file details. What are those two changes? One is we have to uncomment this permit root login as yes, and the second one is password authentication should be yes. Okay, password authentication should be yes means if we enter password, it should allow us to connect to the node. Okay, node 1 is done. Node 2, let me open node 2 /etc/ done. So we have done with all the changes in all the machines. Okay, this is the server. So let me reconfirm. VI permit root login, password authentication. Yes. Done. Okay. Now what is the next step? We made changes in the SSHD configuration. Once we make any changes in any service, that service needs to be restarted. For that, we have to execute the command service.
SSHD.
What is the service name? SSHD
Reload.
reload. Okay, done. The same thing needs to be done in all the machines. Is SSHD RELV. Okay. Now we are done with all the changes. So this is our server. Okay, here server machine. Okay, now let me switch to the user su-ans1. Now I am at root user. Okay, Let me restart sudo service sshd reload. Okay. Now let me try to connect to the machine. Yeah. So here I typed SSH and the IP address of one of the node. The authenticity is established, can't be established. Are you sure you want to continue? Yes. Warning, permanently added. Now it is asking me for the password for this 128 host name. What is the password? ANS1 is the password I have given while setting up the user. And now I have entered the password. I am clicking enter. See, now I can able to connect to the machine or not. Earlier it was 172.31.39.181. This is the IP address of our server machine. This 190 is the IP address of which one? 3144.190. See, 3144.190. This is the IP address of node 2. Can you able to see here?
Yes, sir.
This is the IP address of node 2. Okay. So, and this is the IP address of 181 is the IP address of server. So, from server, can I able to connect to the node?
Yes.
Okay. So, where I am now under root home ANS1 here. So, the current working directory is this one. So, let me type. All these are hidden directories. Are there any files available in the node 2? No files. Now let me create the file. Fetch f1.txt. Okay, let me type ls. How many files are there now in 190 node? 190 means node 2. In node 2, one file is there. From where I have created this, I logged into hello.
Yes.
I logged into server. Okay. Currently, let's say if we take our organization, there are 3 machines are there. One is the server and 2 are the nodes. Okay. Now I connected to server. From this server, I switched to the user called ANS1 is the user. I connected to that user. Okay. After that, from that user to node. Okay. From my server machine only, that nodes are located in London. I am at Hyderabad. Okay. From my server, I can able to connect to that node or not. This 190 means this is the node 2. This node 2 is located in somewhere, some different location. I am at my server machine. With the help of my server machine, I can able to connect to that node or not. Yes, I can able to connect to that node with the help of SSH agent. After connecting, I can do every operation on that machine without physically connecting to that machine. I can able to do whatever the work I can do on node 2. So for that, I have created one file from my server. Where this file is located? In PWT, in under /home ANS1 is the folder. In that folder, f1.txt file is there. Now let me go back to this node 2 and check here. This is the node 2. Now let me type ls here. No files are there. Why? Where are we now? We are at root directory. Let me change the directory. How can I change the directory? cd space /home/ans1. This is the directory, right? Where we created the file. Under this directory, we have created the file f1.txt. This should be available. ls. Is this file available now?
Yes.
Now let me create one more file here. Touch abc.txt. abc.txt is the file name. Now let me type ls. Two files are there, f1.txt, abc.txt. From where I have created this file? Directly connected to node 2 here. In the node 2 only I have created the file. Okay, I connected to node 2. From node 2 only I created the file. So it reflected. Now let me check the same information from my server. From my server, I have connected to this node 2. Now let me check here whether it is reflected here or not. abc.txt, f1.txt. So here, from my server, I can able to connect to that machine. Once I connected to that machine, I can do whatever the operation I want from here and from node 2 also. Okay, now let me exit this. Okay, now 181 is the server. Now this is the node 1. Node, what is the node 1's IP address? This one. You can take private or you can take public. So let me take private only. 172.3.1. See, this is the private. Now let me connect to this machine. Okay. Okay. So here, do we have any files? See, here at under /home/ans1 only. Under this one, do we have any files in the node 1? No files. Okay. Now let me create one. Let me connect to that machine first. SSH, this one. ANS1. LS. Do we have any files? No files. Let me create the files from node 1. I have created one file and one folder. Now this one is having one file and one folder. Let me check this from the server. Are these available or not? So now, is it practically proved or not? Can we able to connect to the server? I mean, can we able to connect to the node from the server with the SSH agent? Hello?
We can start.
Any doubts, guys?
No, sir.
And one more thing. So you don't want to, this is with password, we can able to connect to the node 1 or node 2. If you want to connect to any node, we have to enter the password. If we do not enter the password, can we able to connect to the respective nodes?
No.
So now this is the server. I want to connect to that node 1. What is the command? SSH and the IP address. I enter. Enter password. It is asking me for the password. If I enter password, I have entered dummy password. See, permission denied. Please try again. Unless until if I give only password, then only it will allow me to enter. Otherwise, it will not be allowed. So if we want to connect to any node without entering the password, then that is called passwordless SSH. We have to create, we have to establish one link. That link is called as passwordless SSH. Is this passwordless SSH or with password SSH? Password only. If you enter password, then only we can able to connect to that machine. Now we'll check how can we connect to any node without entering the password. For that purpose, we have to generate the keys. Okay, we have to generate the keys. Let's say you at your home you have one lock. Okay, now if I want, you are not there, I want to go inside your room, you are at office. So what I have to do, I have to wait until you come back and you have to open the lock of your home. Then only we both can enter inside the room. Unless if I want to enter inside the room, what is the thing that I should have? If I have the key for your lock, then I can enter. Yes or no?
Yes.
So let's say one room is there and two locks are there. I mean, one lock is there, two keys are there. One key is with you and one key is with me. So whenever I want to enter in your flat, do I need to wait until you return from your office or somewhere? If I have that key with me, then I can directly enter. Okay. So if two people want to communicate with each other, then the two people should share the common key. That concept called as public private key. So we have to generate that key in our server machine. Okay, and this key needs to be given to node machine. Okay, so that whenever I try to connect to any particular node, first it will check whether the key is available in the node machine or there. If that key is available in the node machine, then it will not ask for the password. If the key is not available in the node 1, then it will ask the password. Is this clear? It is same as In the server, I will create one key. After creating that key, I will share that key to the node 1. I will copy that key in the node. So the setup is done. We both are having key. The key is available on the server side and the same key is available in the node side. So that whenever I try to connect to that particular node from this server, I can happily connect to that machine because both the machines are sharing the same key. I have the key, but I do not share with node 1. Can I able to connect to that node 1? Hello, come on guys. It is very simple. I have a key, but I did not share with anyone else. Can they able to enter inside? Can they able to open the lock?
No.
No.
I am creating one key and that key I will be sharing with the node 1 so that whenever I try to connect to that node 1, the node 1 is already having the key. So no need to enter the password again. Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So what is the first step, guys? We have to generate the key. Yes or no? We have to generate the key. Then that needs to be shared with the list of nodes with whom you want to connect without asking any password. Okay. For that, the command is ssh hyphen let me ls ls hyphen a. So now ssh hyphen keygen p generating public or private RSA key pair. Enter file in which to save the key file /home/ans1 ssh id RSA. id RSA is the folder file where the key will be stored. So if you remember, guys, whenever we are launching any instance, it will be asking for generate a key, and that PEM file has to be stored in our machine. If you guys remember, yes or no? If you open that PEM file, you will see lot of lines, 5 to 6 lines with different characters. That is the key, unique key. Here also, you want to save the key here or somewhere else. If you want to save your file in somewhere else, you can enter the location. Otherwise, you can simply click on enter. Okay. Enter passphrase, empty for no. If you want to add any additional security, then you enter that information. Otherwise, you can click enter. And it is asking for the confirm once again. Enter. See, now the keys random auth images. This is the image of the RSA token. RSA is nothing but that is an algorithm name. Okay. While generating the public and private keys, there are different algorithms are there, out of which RSA is one of the algorithm which will be used to generate the public or private key. Here we haven't done nothing new or we haven't done anything great. We just created the key, SSH key gen. This will generate the key and that key will be shared in DAS SSH ID RSA dot public key. This is the public key and this is the private key. These two keys are generated. Now let me check this. cd space dot ssh ls. In the LSS, how many are there? ID RSA dot pub, known host. So these are the files. If you want to see cat ID underscore RSA, what is cat? Cat will be used to display the content inside the file. This is the private key. Okay. If you want to see the public key, pub. This is the public key. This is the private key. Now, can you believe if I say keys are generated with the help of command ssh keygen? Come on, guys. I just executed one command. As a result of that command execution, two keys will be generated. Now, where these two keys are saved? Wherever we have executed the command. So, where we executed the command? In the server machine. In the server machine, I have executed the command to generate the keys. So that public key and the private key are generated and those keys are saved in .ssh folder. Now, what is the next step? We have to give these keys to nodes. Yes or no? If I do not share these keys to the nodes, can I able to connect to that nodes without entering the password? Hello, are you following?
Yes, sir, we can connect.
Yeah. Now we have to give this. This is the key, and we have to give this key to node. How can I give this key? I have to copy this, and I have to create one folder called .ssh in the node 2, and I have to open one file called id underscore rsa. In the id underscore rsa, I have to copy this without missing any single character. If I miss anything, then the key will be mismatched, so that it will not going to work out. For that purpose, what we have to do is we have to, there is one more command. We can directly copy those keys from here to there. Okay. The command is ssh hyphen copy hyphen id. Okay. This is the command which will be used to copy these keys from server to node. Copy these keys to which machine? We have to give the username and the IP address. ANS1 is the our username. At the rate IP address. What is the IP address of this node to this one? Okay. Yeah. So SSH copy ID. This is just a copy command, guys. Okay. SSH copy ID. So that you can easily understand by just going through the names. Okay. SSH copy ID. Copy these keys to this user at the rate this host name. Under this IP address, there is one user is called ANS1. To that user, copy these things. That is the meaning of this. Okay. Password. For the first time, it will ask for the password. See, number of keys added, one key is added to this 44.190 machine. Okay. Now let me connect to that machine. Just now I said now the key is copied. I no need to enter the password again if I want to connect to any node. Yes or no? Okay. What is the command to connect to any machine, guys? SSH hyphen the IP address. What is the IP address? This is the IP address. Now let me enter. We did ask for any password?
No.
Did it ask for any password? No, I just entered SSH and the IP address. It will directly connect it to that machine. So is this clear? Now, do you believe practically that we have established a passwordless SSH connectivity between server and the node?
Yes.
Let me try the same thing for node 1. So this we did for node 2. Now let me copy the address of this node 1 and try to connect to this machine. Okay. Yeah, this is the server SSH hyphen IP address of node 1. It is asking for, see, password. Only it is allowing me. Why? Because we have generated the key, but we did not share that key with this node 1. So that is the reason it is asking for the password. Is this clear now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now let me share the key with this user as well. Okay. I am giving the IP address of node 1. Yeah. One key is added to node 1 as well. Now let me try to connect to node 1 SSH and I am just entering the IP address. I am clicking enter. So if our theory is correct, then it should not ask for any password. See, I shared the key with the node 1 also. After sharing the key with node 1, when I try to connect to node 1 with the help of SSH agent, it is not asking for enter to password. Why? Because the key is shared between the server and the node 1. Any doubts, guys, now? This is how we can connect to different nodes from server with password and without password. Any doubts?
No, sir, everything is clear.
Okay. So now here, this is the server. Okay. From here, now you might now the actual concepts come into the picture. So here, this is the server. From this server, we can control all the nodes. If I want to know the details of all the nodes which are connected to this server, I want to know the host names of all the servers, I mean all the nodes here. Then the command is we have to execute the Ansible commands. Okay. In the Ansible, whatever the command we execute, they will be called as modules. Okay. Here module is nothing but a command. Playbooks and modules are called as commands only, Ansible commands only. Okay. Ansible all means all the server details. We have entered the list of server details in the host file. In the host file, we entered two nodes. One is web server and the another one is the database server. Ansible all -m command -a hostname. This is the command. You have to remember this. What it will do is Ansible is for to know operating system know that hey operating system, this is an Ansible command. Whenever we want to execute Git commands, we have to add Git first. Then only we have to write the remaining command. Because if I add Git before the command, the operating system will understand that this is the command which is related to Git. In the same way, if I add Ansible before the command, it will understand that it is the command which is related to Ansible. So that is the meaning of Ansible all -m. M stands for module. Command. You have to execute the command. A stands for arbitrary. Okay. Command. What is the command? Command is host name. Whatever you mention between the double quotes, that will be executed on each and every node, and you will get the result. Yeah. So the authenticity of a post can't be established, unreachable. So permission denied public key. So for that, we need to make two more changes in the configuration file. So what are those changes is in the Ansible configuration file, we have to uncomment this. Okay. So yeah, sudo va space /etc/ss. So here we need to add some extra details, guys. Okay. So there are some warnings are coming, right? So in order to avoid that warnings, what we have to do is here we need to mention some basic information here. So what are those basics are command underscore warnings equals to false. Next, interpreter Python. Interpreter Python equals to auto silent. Okay, we'll see this part tomorrow. So tomorrow what we will do is, now these nodes are connected to this server. So if what is the main use of this Ansible, guys? It will be used for configuration management. Configuration management in the sense, so if we want to perform n number of tasks on n number of machines, we no need to perform those same tasks again in the 100 machines where the task is same, but just because the machines are different, we no need to perform the same monotonous task 100 times. Okay, how can we automate the task with the help of YAML playbooks and the modules? How can we do the same operation on all the nodes in a single click? Okay, that part we will do it from tomorrow onwards. Okay, so it will be interesting only. So today, just to practice this and try to establish the connection between node and the server. So if at all you have any issues, you are feel free to ping me in the WhatsApp. So I will respond to your messages. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So because if you are unable to uh, complete this part, even though tomorrow we complete this session, how to connect to, how to operate the other nodes from the server, then you will not able to practice, right? So please try to complete this by today, so that we'll discuss the remaining part from tomorrow onwards. Okay. These are the list of commands that I have executed in the same manner. First, I have updated the system, then I downloaded and I just checked the files. I have installed, again I have updated and I installed the softwares. I modified the host file and then I modified the configuration file. Okay, and again I just checked the host file whether database server also added. After that, I have created user, created the password. Okay, in the sudo file, I made some 2 changes. What are those 2 changes? I have just added one ANS1 user detail. ANS1 all equals to all, no password all. That line I have added. After that, I have changed the configuration file details and I reloaded the server. I switched it to user, and this is one. Okay, so whatever the commands you have executed, you can check that with the help of command called history. Okay, similarly, if you want to check what are the commands you have executed on the user one, these are the command executed on the root user. Now let me switch to su-ans1. This is the different user. In this user, what are the commands I have executed? Same. These are the commands I have executed in this ANS1 user. Okay, so please practice this, and if you come across any issues and if you are unable to connect to the nodes from the server, so just let me know.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.